It's filling, it's full of flavor, and it's not that hard to make. Chef Sharekka Byrd from Bayou on the Vine is joining us now to show us how to make her version of shrimp and grits. First off, thank you for being here on Better Kansas City. Now, we've already started cooking here a little bit and starting to smell a whole lot like shrimp cooking up here, which I love shrimp. So let's talk a little bit about this dish. It's pretty common, right? I mean, lots of people have their twist on shrimp and grits. What's your kind of twist and what makes yours unique?
Okay, so a lot of times when you have shrimp and grits, they're just regularly sauteing your shrimp, throwing it in with a little bit of bacon, a little oil, kind of giving that flavor to it. I do a little bit with some cheeses in my grits, some jalapenos, add the kick. Then I have a Creole tomato sauce, which is it's borderline like a marinara, but it has a little more flavor to it, more of a sauce and not, So I wanted to capture. I wanted to capture. No, actually, it's thicker than a marinara.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of capture the staple of the Cajun Creole side.
Yeah.
So I added a little bit more to the shrimp and grits that most people wouldn't typically do. So, I've already started my grits. I put my heavy cream in, my sliced jalapenos. It's already have my grits already pre-made. I make them ahead, of course, because
will that jalapeno spread out a little bit in there so you'll get some of that heat throughout the rest of the grits?
Yes. So I always saute my jalapenos in the cream before I even add the grits, because I want that flavor to be well and incorporated in everything. So you can probably, if you were here, you would be able to smell how the jalapenos are smelling right now. You can kind of get that little bit of flavor from the fact that we sauteed it in the heavy cream before we added the grits to the skillet. So
now, as you're mixing there, I want to ask a question about the shrimp, because I don't get to cook shrimp very often because my wife is allergic to shellfish, but that's another story here for another time. But when you cook it up, the shrimp there, what are you sauteing it in?
I'm just sauteing it in the regular veg oil. You can do it in any kind of oil. I just use veg because it's always readily available, or I have either EVOO, you can do it in any oil. I wouldn't suggest any peanut oil just because it may slightly alter the flavor.
Sure.
So, just some kind of a lubricant to get your skillet nice and
then do you season a little, what do you season that with as well then too? Anything, or is it just a salt and pepper? Or?
Well, typically what I would do is a little salt, a little pepper, a little Cajun seasoning on the shrimp. The grits, I put a little bit of chicken base in there to give it some flavor. Little cream cheese, just to kind of give it that good old texture. So these are pretty much ready to roll.
Excellent.
I'll put that there and put
keep doing that here. Now, I know you guys have your own down on the Bayou on the Vine. A lot of great stuff gets made up down there, but it all kind of comes from an inspiration. What kind of sets you on that inspiration and want to get out and do your own cooking thing and do your restaurant?
Well, I had worked for a couple of companies after I went to culinary school, and I was just like, you know what? This doesn't challenge me. I didn't spend all of Daddy's money just to, make burgers and fries and put it in the window. So it kind of eliminated my creativity when I was working. So I was just like, you know what? Let's kind of go and see what it would be like for me to open up my own restaurant. And most people are like, you don't have enough experience to do that. I'm like, well, the only way to get experience is to
get out there and do it. Yeah.
So,
and who really inspired you to get started cooking in the first place?
My grandmother's my number one inspiration. My dad's mom. Both of my grandmothers cook. My dad's
is that her
mom.
Here?
Yeah, that's on Mother's Day. That was just a couple weeks ago, or a few weeks ago.
Look, she's got the blue dress on too. Everybody's wearing blue dresses today here.
Yeah, that's my Grammy. She's my main inspiration for wanting to get in the kitchen.
Is there a specific dish that she made that you try to emulate that we can try at your restaurant?
Let's see.
Or anything maybe that you made along the way?
Her bread pudding is on the menu. Her collard greens are on the menu. When we had the buffet, her yams were on the menu. Cabbage. We had macaroni and cheese at one point, so she has a lot of influence on our menu.
Very influential on the menu. And then also you've worked with Chef Gordon Ramsay, right?
Oh,
what was it like working with him? Did you get yelled at?
I did. I definitely got yelled at a little bit, but I had to give him a little run for his money. When you come to Kansas City, it's the show me state. So I had to definitely show,
And look at him there, he's smiling.
Oh,
Does he actually smile? I normally just see he's like beat red and yelling at people.
It took a lot for him to smile, but we had a little connection at one point, so he kind of softened up a little bit.
So we're about to wrap this up here. What do we got to do here to finish
I'm about to go ahead and plate it up because everything's ready to roll.
Okay, we're going to plate this up real quick like here.
What I do is take my grits. They're nice and hot right now and cheese filled.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll just put it on that plate.
Okay.
In that middle loop.
Looking good. And it smells really good over here too, folks, just FYI.
So Put that on there and just kind of smear it on so you can have a nice little
make it look nice
bowl or plate. See those jalapenos in there a little bit.
I'm gonna move that over here so people can see a little bit.
And you want to take those good old shrimp and that Creole sauce and top it off on there. I like to lay them on. I don't like to pour it because then it can splatter, mess up your plating, and you eat with your eyes first. So.
All right, well, Sharekka, we appreciate your time being here today. Thanks for plating that up for you. I'm going to try some here while Belinda introduces this next segment on preserves and jams and jellies, right? Belinda, over to you.
Something else for the kitchen here. Jams, jellies, and preserves.